Welcome, my dear guys and gals, to the discussion of what is the worst stratagem weapon in Helldivers 2. This is your host, Likabish, and let's get started with the discussion. Hold on. You see, that was what the video was originally about. But after doing various amounts of testing, it's a sterilizer. Not the winter flag, it's just a sterilizer. Heck, you seeing the word sterilizer, you even hearing the name sterilizer, made you remember that this stratagem weapon even exists. But in order to get into that, let's get started with the discussion. In Helldivers 2, there are many ways to spread righteous democracy across the galaxy and into the body of your enemies. And the main way to do that is with stratagems. They are deployed from your destroyer, come down and help enhance your Helldiver and give a feeling of power. And then there's the Sterilizer, which doesn't really give you any feeling of power or enhancement. It actually feels like more of a detriment. But what is the Sterilizer?
The Sterilizer is a stratagem weapon that takes the stratagem weapon slot from the Chemical Agent's War Bond on the second page, costing 85 metals. It is very similar in function to the Flamethrower, but does a gas or caustic effect which confuses enemies for 9 to 10 seconds when applied and does tick damage of 30 per second. The capacity is 100 with 6 mags and a reload of 3.9 seconds. It calls in at 7.75 seconds, with unlimited uses and a cooldown of 480 seconds.
So what makes a stratagem good? Well, there's a few things. First of all, you must be able to run it on the max Helldive difficulty, solo, and the main reason why is because if you have to rely on your team to make the thing work, then maybe the thing isn't that good. It's okay for it to incentivize team play, but you should also know what value are you bringing on your own without having an extra factor to dictate how good your weapon will be. And then there's the things about the stratagem itself, which is 1, its effect, 2, the synergy, and 3, any alternatives that there might be. Let's go over all of them with the first, starting with the effect.
The gas effect, or sometimes known as the caustic effect, slows enemies by 25%, making them go in different directions and or attack anything nearby while they take tick damage from the gas. The gas emitted specifically from the sterilizer lingers for 0.25 seconds. So, we can clearly tell that the effect is some form of CC, instead of the primary effect of most stratagems, which is kill. But, as you will see soon, why use this specific type of CC from the Sterilizer with other stratagems or weapons?
Okay, I'm going to start this off with one question. What do you use the Sterilizer with? What do you use it with when it comes to clearing out heavier units or clearing out the chaff? Let's start with the heavy boys, right? All right, you gas them and now you confuse them. What's your follow-up? Because the gas effect won't last forever. They won't be stunned forever. Then you're like, oh, I'll throw down a stratagem. I'll throw a grenade. I will use a powerful primary weapon. And then you slowly start to realize that you could just already use those things without them being confused. Especially since the Sterilizer takes a bit of time to put away, and that's already your stratagem weapon. It's not like you could use a stratagem weapon to follow up on. So you have to rely on orbitals, you have to rely on grenades, you have to rely on primary weapons, and that's all iffy at best, especially when there's better alternatives, right? Stun grenades, EMS strike, EMS mortar. There's better CC options. And then you talk about the chaff, right? Oh, I spray it around and now all the chaff is confused, so now my team can follow up on it. And then again, you realize that you could have just already killed them all already by using, again, a different stratagem weapon. Or for example, the Flamethrower. You just did the same sweeping motion, but now everything is dead. Start to see the problem? When it comes to this game, CC isn't really that important. It's very niche and works in very niche builds, so that already cuts out a synergy by a lot. And not only that, but there's also different alternatives. And actually, that's actually a really good point. Let's get into the alternatives. So let's get into those other options, shall we? Because you might say, oh, okay, so for hybrid builds, the synergy might suck, right? But what about full gas builds? We use nothing but gas, kind of like our Pyromaniac or our Arc users. Well, then you realize something very quickly. Every single other gas option is better than the Sterilizer by a long shot or a huge margin. And it's because all of them have something that the Sterilizer does not. Range. Let's start off with something simple, shall we? The gas grenade. So when it comes to the gas grenade, what you do is you throw it down and it creates a gas cloud in a decent sized area. And here's another thing. The gas grenade does more damage than the Sterilizer, actually. At least from when I use the weapon, things would die a lot faster when I'm using the gas grenade instead of the Sterilizer. And because they're in the cloud for more often instead of constantly getting sprayed down. And not only that, but the gas grenade, you could throw it very far, or as an escape plan, you throw it at your feet and you bolt, and when the enemies go inside the glass cloud and you're constantly making distance, remember how that confusion thing works? They'll just get confused over here while you are gone. And then there's the orbital gas strike. Think of it as the gas grenade, but a way bigger radius, and it has a cooldown time, and I believe lingers even a little bit longer. You call that thing down, huge cloud of gas, and again, it kills enemies a lot faster than the Sterilizer, keeps them confused, and not only that, but it's actually infinite. Sure, it has a cooldown, but technically it is infinite. And then we get to the gas mines. It's a minefield, but gas. Think of it like the orbital precision gas strike, or just multiple gas grenades, but now they have to be stepped on to be set off. So they can create this huge defensive perimeter where, one, it doesn't instantly kill your teammates, so they'll be less pissed off at you, and two, anytime enemies come, they'll get gassed, and a lot of the times they don't trigger all the mines. So if enemies come by again, they'll get gassed all over again. And since that thing just stays, as long as it's not detonated, you can just essentially just glitter everywhere with gas mines as long as no one steps on them, because it'll start recharging the moment it's placed down, which is very useful. And again, you can throw it farther away. You can run away. You can create that distance so that confusion effect really takes effect and you're not in the enemy's sightline to be confused. Now let's compare two different stratagem weapons that deal with gas. So you have the Sterilizer, and then you have the Harpoon. With the Harpoon, it has punching power that can actually take down heavier enemies. It's limited, but it has that punching power, and then it leaves a little gas effect behind after the fact for a better crowd control. So you can pick off a heavier unit in the crowd, then the crowd will still get gassed. It's actually a pretty fun, underused weapon. And then you have the Sterilizer, which is basically a gas flamethrower, but doesn't kill nearly as fast. Oh, that's right. Let's go over another gas weapon. Okay, so you need a single target use gas weapon, so then you could go ahead and confuse the enemy for whatever reason. You don't want all the crowd control. Man, just you and that gas pistol they just released in the War Bond? Yep, it's basically the Sterilizer. All you do is shoot a little gas dart to the enemy, and then they get confused just like the Sterilizer. Maybe the duration isn't as long, but it's also a secondary weapon, leaving all of your stratagem slots free, which also ironically gives you less of a reason to use the Sterilizer, because if you just want to go ahead and single a target out, which is what the Sterilizer is mainly good at, because crowd controls could be a bit wishy-washy, you could just use the gas pistol. But you might say, oh, but the Sterilizer, it can still deal with crowds. The gas pistol can't do that as limited capacity. Well, There's a reason why I saved a certain gas stratagem for last. The dog breath. Basically, a drone with a sterilizer on top of it. Do you see where I'm going? So that means that instead of having to worry about getting in close, right, and then you have to swap to your weapons to quickly kill the thing that needs to be killed because they're aggroed on you, you now have a drone that'll do the same thing. It'll gas the target, then it will move to the next target once they're gassed enough, and there's your crowd control. It will just keep moving from target to target to target. You also don't got to reload it or swap to it. It's just out unless you put it on your back, but then you can just bring it back out. Spray, spray, spray. Due to the dog breath's existence, it kind of makes the sterilizer irrelevant. At least with the hot dog drone, the flamethrower drone, it sprays fire absolutely everywhere, and some people might prefer the flamethrower for a more controlled flame. But gas isn't really going to kill your teammates as instantly as fire does, and like I said, the drone literally does everything that the sterilizer is supposed to do. It could deal with single targets, it could deal with crowds. In exchange, you don't have to reload it, you don't have to take your stratagem weapon slot. What more would you need?
Now, we could talk about how much a weapon is bad all we want, but not giving any way to fix the problem is just complaining. So, how do we fix it? Now, this will be hard due to the nature of the weapon. Like the arc thrower is CC just like the sterilizer, but could actually kill easier and have infinite ammo. The dog breath does everything the sterilizer can do, so it has no place. We need to give it a unique function to stand out. Here's my changes. I will double the range of the sterilizer and make the gas linger for 5 to 7 seconds. We'll also make it affect War Striders, Factory Striders, Bile Titans, and Overseers, but have a reduced effect of 2.3 seconds. This will make it the king of CC as it should be. You will have the range and complete area locked down. This will also justify the risk you're taking of not taking a weapon that can kill the heavies as easy, being able to CC them. With that being said, this won't make other options irrelevant, since all the other gas items are more flexible to use. The changes may seem extreme, but considering all the other options you have and how bad it's been, I think this is balanced enough to give it a place. And there you have it. The worst, least used, forgotten stratagem weapon in Helldivers 2. It's a shame how this thing came out and was instantly useless. I will say, I am one guy. So let me know in the comments if you think there's anything that is worse than it, or what changes would you do? With that being said, this has been your host, Leakamish, opening the discussion to the comments below. Taking a rest, not touching the sterilizer again after this video, saying farewell to you all.